For all of the lies that Trump and his team told about CBS deceptively editing or cutting a Harris interview, and we've debunked those, it looks like we just caught Trump's team in deceptive editing. Let me show you first a clip they posted from a Trump interview. And then I'm going to show you, if you extended that clip 5 seconds, what they didn't want their followers to see. This is the official White House Rapid Response 47. You can show this Rapid Response 47 account on X, and they're hyping him up. They're saying fake news. NBC asked the question, and then Trump responded a beautiful answer. So let's watch the 38 seconds. Shortly, this provides the notable moment from this section of the interview. Let's listen.
Some people on Wall Street have expressed concerns that the possibility of a recession is increasing. And I want to know what you think about that. Are you comfortable with the country potentially dipping into a recession for a period of time if you are able to achieve your long-term goals?
Well, you say some people on Wall Street say, well, I tell you something else. Some people on Wall Street say that we're going to have the greatest economy in history. Why don't you talk about them? Because some people on Wall Street say this is the greatest thing.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting at, though. It's the same question.
Yeah, there are many people on Wall Street say this is going to be the greatest windfall ever happened.
So that, according to Rapid Response 47, Trump staffers, is Trump beat down 101, right? He takes the fake news, pow, 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 like Hulk with the guy, and he doesn't have any of their nonsense. But the interesting thing is, number one, like I said, if you extend the clip, you'll see what they cut out. And it was played on every station as a teaser for the full interview in its 45 seconds. And they included 38 seconds. But also, she asks a question. And you'd think, did Trump ever circle back and answer the question? Which was, are you expecting a recession? Are you okay with a recession? Trump also says, before getting to this more contextualized clip, that some people on Wall Street say that we're going to have the greatest economy in history. Who says that? Donald Trump on Wall Street says that we're going to have the greatest. Back in his business days, he would call news outlets and use this is real. He would use, or it's suspected that it happened. He would use a voice and act like he was some reporter or some analyst. And now I'm forgetting the details, but when he would hype himself up on the phone, Donald Trump here. Donald Trump is so good. His buildings are so great. And then now it's Kristen Welker. Everyone's saying on Wall Street it's going to be the greatest economy in history. Trump's so right, by the way. He has a huge... here's the full clip.
And I want to know what you think about that. Are you...
Oh, by the way, if you appreciate this show, please do click the subscribe button.
Comfortable with the country potentially dipping into a recession for a period of time if you are able to achieve your long-term goals?
Well, you say some people on Wall Street say, well, I tell you something else. Some people on Wall Street say that we're going to have the greatest economy in history. Why don't you talk about them? Because some people on Wall Street say this is the greatest thing.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting at, though. It's the same question.
Yeah, there are many people on Wall Street say this is going to be the greatest windfall ever happened.
And that's my question, the long term. Yeah. Is it okay in the short term to have a recession?
Look, everything's okay. What we are, I said, this is a transition period. I think we're going to do fantastically.
Imagine if during the economic uncertainty of the pandemic, a reporter asked Joe Biden, Mr. President, are you okay with a recession happening on your watch? And he went, well, yeah. A little recession between friends, not too bad. All of the media, right-wing media, obviously, they freak out when Biden looks the wrong way, but even mainstream media would be losing their mind. Does he know what that means in people's lives? People will be losing jobs. They'll lose their health coverage. They won't be able to get treatment for their illnesses. They'll be in economic hardship, food on the table, all of that. And this will get attention, but we all know it won't be the same visceral rage across the media outlets where he goes, yeah. Now, again, and you can leave this up, Jaden. So Rapid Response 47 ends the clip here.
The greatest windfall ever happened.
Greatest windfall ever. And if they had just played this much more.
This is going to be the greatest windfall ever happened.
And that's my
So that's where they cut it. And then if they had just played this much further.
question.
Remember
The
this.
long term.
Yeah.
Is it okay in the short term to have a
Remember
recession?
this. Look, everything's okay. What we are, I said.
So we're going to have the greatest economy in history. And also he's okay with a recession in the short term. Now, what you might be confused about, though, is sure, yeah, everything is okay, as he says, which is just definitionally not true. But everything's okay. We could have a recession. We could not have a recession. It's going to be fun. You never know what's going to happen. But here is what you need. Okay? You're confused about this, and I need to explain it to you, all right? You don't understand that if there is a recession, it's Biden's fault. But if there's a recession, it's not bad, except for it is because it's Biden's fault. But if next quarter is better, it's because of Trump. If the jobs numbers are good, it's because Trump is responsible for the underlying economy, even though the economy is Biden's fault, even though the tariff stuff is a direct impact of Trump's stuff. So if there's a contraction, it's Biden's fault, but it's only because of the tariffs and the rest of the economy is good, but the economy is Biden's fault. But most of it's good, except for the Trump stuff, but that's also because of Trump's genius. So if a recession were to happen, it's bad because it's Biden, and also it's not bad because you can't blame it on Trump. How are you confused about this? It's pretty simple. Sheesh. Now, I mentioned CBS. I do want to update you on that. So his team is being more deceptive in their editing. It's like when Fox News cut out the part of him going, well, maybe we don't declassify Epstein stuff. It's like that, but with this. The notable part, the teaser, the reason they even have that clip is because it was teased for the full interview that's going to come out later. And the key part is that Trump is going, yeah, sure, a recession, what the hell? And they cut out that part, okay? That's deceptive. Or cutting out him waffling on Epstein, that's deceptive. What CBS did wasn't deceptive. It was a long answer. They took one part of it. It was her reiterating the same point that she made twice. Because that's how editing goes. That's how you use editing. So the interviews can be fit into a proper time slot. Well, guess what? It looks like there's actual censorship because CBS is afraid of Trump going on at CBS. Sherry Redstone asked CBS to delay sensitive stories about Trump until Paramount sale close. It's what we've been fearing of. This is the media fighting for themselves instead of democracy. Sherry Redstone, the controlling shareholder of Paramount, the parent company of CBS and its news division, is eager to close the sale of her company to Skydance. So eager, in fact, that she reportedly asked CBS News to delay any sensitive stories about President Donald Trump until the deal is finalized. The interference with the CBS newsroom was reported by Puck's Dylan Byers on Wednesday evening and supports the reasoning behind why 60 Minutes executive producer Bill Owen stepped down over concerns about a lack of independence at the famed news magazine. So because of Trump's harassment of CBS, him doing something that when way out in the distance we had initially said, this is looking really dangerous, him getting his government to harass and investigate and hold hostage a merger as it pertains to CBS or their parent company, Paramount. And he's doing that all to get them to bend the knee, to pay him a bunch of money in a settlement because he's bringing this bogus lawsuit against them, admit fault, and then change to his liking how they do news. That is an assault on the First Amendment like you really don't see in the United States, or you shouldn't see in the United States. And the guy who stood up during his inauguration speech and said, I'm bringing back the First Amendment, was obviously saying that from a place of a guilty conscience as he's completely attacking it. And Sherry Redstone, as I think I'm breaking my marker. Sorry, this is getting me upset. Sherry Redstone's more interested in making a bunch of money from this merger than standing up for what's right. And so she's intervening and saying, yeah, hold off on any particularly sensitive stories of Trump so that we can get this merger to go through. It's the most dystopian version of what we warned of with Trump's anti-free speech actions. Scott Pelley, the 60 Minutes host, in the wake of the executive producer leaving because of this, saying, I can't be an independent journalist or oversee independent journalism if we're going to just bend the knee to Trump out of fear of his retribution and out of the retribution that he's enacting on us right now on the 60 Minutes airwaves. Scott Pelley spoke out against this.
In tonight's Last Minute, a note on Bill Owens, who until this past week was executive producer of 60 Minutes. He was our boss. Bill was with CBS News nearly 40 years, 26 years at 60 Minutes. He covered the world, covered combat, the White House. His was a quest to open minds, not close them. If you've ever worked hard for a boss because you admired him, then you understand what we've enjoyed here. Bill resigned Tuesday. It was hard on him and hard on us, but he did it for us and you. Stories we pursued for 57 years are often controversial. Lately, the Israel-Gaza war and the Trump administration. Bill made sure they were accurate and fair. He was tough that way. But our parent company, Paramount, is trying to complete a merger. The Trump administration must approve it. Paramount began to supervise our content in new ways. None of our stories has been blocked, but Bill felt he lost the independence that honest journalism requires. No one here is happy about it, but in resigning, Bill proved one thing. He was the right person to lead 60 Minutes all along. I'm Scott.
That's brave. He's doing this on CBS's airwaves. He's doing this knowing that Sherry Redstone and his other bosses are going to see it, but willing to speak up about it. So credit to Scott there. And you can see just the confusion from within 60 Minutes, which really has done some unbelievably incredible work over the decades. And all of that is being thrown into question because of Trump's promise and actions of retribution. That it's exactly what we were all so afraid of. All on a premise that CBS was deceptive in editing when they weren't, as we've looked at the specifics of. And then they released the entire raw interview and Trump's further exposed in his absurdity. Meanwhile, his defenders are actually being deceptive in their editing every single day. Share your thoughts in the comments.